Hey minions, welcome to Crank It Up. I'm Jim Price, and of course this is a video about Sharknado. It's Shark Week, come on. I have a confession to make. I have seen all 5 Sharknados to date, and did so willingly. Maybe not the last one. If today weren't my wife's birthday, happy birthday hun by the way, I'd definitely be watching Sharknado 6, which comes out today, and she's made it clear that this is not an acceptable way to celebrate today. But to honor the movie anyway, it was time for a Sharknado special. Some background content, because I'm not sure if Sharknado is a global phenomenon or just a United States treasure. Back in 2013, the Sci-Fi Channel released a creature feature called Sharknado, which is exactly what it sounds like and as good as it sounds, which is terrible. It was the canonical example of something being so bad that it's good, and they made a second one, and then a third one. And now we are on the precipice of the 6th and final one, mercifully, because man, the 5th one was unwatchable. But when the Sharks were announced as an It's Your Fault expansion faction, I was pretty disappointed. But I got dragons and superheroes, so I was content. And then the It's Your Fault box arrived, with the words Shark Delivery System written on it. Lo and behold, they included tornadoes, completely unexpected. So you could actually play as Sharknado, not eventually, but immediately, as soon as the Sharks came out. This remains my favorite moment of Smash Up, not just that we got a free faction, because they actually did it. Sharknado is a thing. And Sharknado is definitely a deck that has only one name. Is it Robot Zombies or Zombie Robots? With Sharknado, if you don't call it Sharknado, you forfeit your Tornado faction. It's that simple. But enough about that. Do these factions actually work together? Or is it just a gimmick and a clever marketing opportunity? I actually do think that they work quite well together. I wouldn't say that Sharknado is overpowered by any stretch, and I have heard some players claim that, but there are some natural complements out there. Let's start with what each faction needs. The Sharks can destroy low-powered minions, but are pretty stationary for being one of the fiercest predators around. They either want the ability to move minions into their range, or lower minion power in order to ensnare their targets. Sharks have moderate specials and good card draw, but the lack of overall burst in power in traditional form. They specialize in slowing the game down, and can use someone capable of speeding it back up. The tornadoes can move and have some really powerful cards, particularly their specials, but they lack card draw, and they move just for the sake of movement. They have no additional power or extra plays, so they are reliant on their partner faction for that additional punch. I believe they do better with more players, as they have more bases to utilize and more minions to manipulate. You should already be able to see how these factions synergize. But in honor of Sharknado 6, here are 6 ways the Sharks and Tornadoes complement each other, and many of them start with the strength of the Sharks, card draw. First, the Shark card draw directly solves one of the Tornado's weaknesses, which is a lack of card draw themselves, as well as action staleness. The Tornadoes are the type of faction that might waste their action on several turns because they don't have many intermediate turn plays, because they mostly move. They have great stall tactics in moving opposing minions, but they may not be applicable. They have 3 powerful specials you'll want to hold on to, so what card are you playing for your action? Having card draw keeps your hand from being stale as you get to the right cards for the right situation. The Twisters have the same problem. You may not want to play them right away. Instead, the Dust Devils are a great minion to play on any base, as they generally avoid contributing to power creep, and the sooner you get access to all 4, the more flexibility you'll have in winning a base at the last moment. Card draw leads into the second point, which is that the Tornado specials are some of the most powerful in the game. When I'm playing against the Tornadoes, I often live in fear as to whether they can kick off my one minion from the base at the last second to score it without me, or knock me down 1 or 2 places. The Tornadoes have the ability to move someone off, themselves or others. They could also move themselves on, and then they can keep a powerful minion in play instead of going to the discard pile. But early in the game, I don't have this fear necessarily, and the Shark card draw changes that. Each week of Shark card drawn greatly increases the chance of seeing those specials, and no lead is ever safe as a result. Next, I think that the Monster Tornado is key to the shark strategy because of how well it works with the Great White. With these two minions combined, it becomes easier for the Great White to attack lowered power minions and end up on a desirable base. Depending on the layout, Monster Tornado can move the victim minion to where the Great White wants to be, or move the Great White to itself so that the Great White can move to the victim. Sometimes it takes the Great White 2 turns to kill a minion on its same base, but Monster Tornado solves this as it rearranges the minions like chess pieces. Once again, card draw helps you bring it into play, whereas the tornadoes may not ever see it at their normal draw rate. For the fourth point, consider that movement factions avoid power creep by spreading out, but otherwise drop the same power as if they were played on the same base the entire time. As a result, this makes them slower, and they need to keep opponents at bay while you establish your army of minions. The tornadoes can stall by moving minions where they don't want to be, but destruction is a better stall tactic when it removes the minions entirely. This is where the sharks excel, particularly in the form of the renewable destruction with the Great White. You can continue to destroy minions while the tornadoes gain cards without wasting actions. The tornadoes can further complement this by moving one target into dangerous waters, allowing the Great White to destroy 4-powered minions as well. The opposite is also true. The power negation can help activate tornado movement abilities that send a minion into Megalodon or other shark destruction actions. It's great that the tornadoes synergistically improve what they needed from the sharks anyway. But spreading out also has its drawbacks, which brings us to number 5, the Hammerhead. If you put too many Hammerheads on one base, you run the risk of wasting your engines by closing the base prematurely. You also reduce the chance to actually be on the correct base when a minion is destroyed. But if you spread out, while you'll increase the chance of catching a minion on the right base, you are only gaining 1 power counter instead of 3, since the Hammerheads are a localized benefit, unlike Chum, which is global. However, tornado movement gives you the best of both worlds, as you can move your Hammerheads onto the same base so that they all share the benefit, or move them apart once you feel that a base is too close to scoring with all 3. You can also move minions to be on the correct base when you destroy them, ensuring that you have at least 1 Hammerhead there. You'll get a lot of power counters this way, which brings me to my final point, the Mega Shark. The sharks have a tendency to build up some very powerful singular minions because of Chum and Hammerheads. But there is only 1 copy of Chum, and sharks lose a lot of their punch when they stop gaining bonuses from destruction. If you spend so many turns powering up a high-powered minion, you want to maximize that investment, and this is where the tornado specials really stand out. You can keep your Chum minion in play by either moving it off a base after it scores, or by moving it off the base with picked up if you don't need that power to score anyway. This way, your powerful minion can influence up to 3 bases. If nothing else, the tornadoes have a rare transfer action ability in Ripped Off, which makes perfect sense with Chum, as it can be transferred after it has served its purpose. Sharknado to me is the perfect type of deck, 2 factions that are different but work extremely well together. They have a theme that is going to draw people into the game, because being able to tell people that they can play Sharknado is a real selling point for Smash Up, and it also serves as a reminder that the game pays attention to and cares about having fun with their fans. These are all the qualities of a great deck. Sharknado may not be an overpowered combination, but it's a fun one. It was naturally the first combo I tried with either faction because it's completely necessary. The only question is, will we ever see a Lavalantula faction? Sci-Fi actually created a spin-off about lava-spewing tarantulas. Not even joking, look it up. I'm going to make my own if no one else calls dibs. But if you don't know about the movies, your appreciation might not be as great as mine, but for many people, this is a fantastic surprise, myself included. Let me know about your experience with the combo, as well as your initial reaction in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this special, and if there's a friendship you want to lose or a relationship you're looking to leave, be sure to watch Sharknado 6 with that person tonight. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.